Hey everyone and welcome. Today, we're talking about how organizations actually change for the better. There's this whole field called organization development, or OD, that's been like a secret weapon for companies for, over 50 years. But here's the thing. It's often lived in the shadow of its more famous cousin, human resources. And for decades, the entire field has been stuck on one huge question.
Right, why is that? How can a field that's so critical to a company's health and success struggle for the same kind of recognition HR gets? Well, the answer, it turns out, is surprisingly straightforward, and it all boils down to one critical missing piece.
I mean, think about it. Fields like HR have these really clear, standardized models that spell out exactly what they do, and that's what gives them so much credibility. OD, on the other hand, has always been a bit all over the place. It was missing that one, single, scientifically backed framework. Without a common language, the whole profession just had a hard time getting noticed.
So, to fix this very problem, a massive research effort was launched. The mission was to take more than 50 years of practice and wisdom and synthesize it all into one clear, cohesive framework. The idea was to finally give OD the solid foundation it needed to be understood, taught, and practiced the same way everywhere.
And what came out of all that work is the Mastering Organizational and Societal Transformation Framework, or, as we're going to call it, MOST. It was built from the ground up to be a single theory-based map of all the skills you need for effective change. But to really get what makes it so special, we have to look at the powerful idea it's built on.
Okay, so the engine behind MOST is something called socio-technical systems theory. Now, I know that sounds super academic, but the core idea is actually something we all get. It basically says that for any organization to be amazing, you can't just fixate on the people or just fixate on the processes. You have to get them both right at the same time working together.
And that idea, joint optimization, that's the absolute bedrock of the MOST framework. See, this isn't just some random checklist of skills. It's a system that's designed to weave the human side of work, the culture, the psychology, with the operational side, the strategy, the org charts. It's all about getting those two systems to dance together in perfect harmony.
And here it is. The whole framework is so elegantly structured into three main pillars, or what they call domains. On one side, you've got the social domain. That's all about the people. On the other, the technical domain, which covers all the processes and structures. But the real genius, the truly innovative part, is this third pillar right in the middle, the influence domain. That, my friends, is the secret sauce that connects the other two.
All right, so let's dive into that first pillar, the social domain. You can think of this as the heart of the organization. It's everything that makes the company feel like a living, breathing community of people.
So, inside this domain, you've got three key pieces. First, organizational culture. These are the unwritten rules, the shared stories and beliefs that dictate how things really get done around here. Then there's organizational psychology, which is all about understanding what makes people tick, both as individuals and in teams. And finally, you have organizational humanity, which is about making sure the workplace is ethical, has a clear purpose, and creates a real sense of belonging for everyone.
Okay, on to the second pillar, the technical domain. So if the social side is the heart, this is the skeleton. It's the formal architecture that gives the organization its shape and its direction. This is all about the hardwired systems that push the business forward.
And just like the social domain, this one also breaks down into three parts. Organizational strategy is about asking, where are we going and how are we going to get there? Then, organizational design is about building the machine, the right structures and roles to make that strategy actually happen. And finally, organizational performance is about keeping score, right? Measuring success, and always looking for ways to get better.
So, okay, we have the people system and we have the process system. But for decades, this has been the million-dollar question in business. How do you actually connect them? How do you make sure your brilliant strategy and your perfect org chart actually work with your company's culture and what motivates your people?
And this is what brings us to the most brilliant part of the whole framework. The influence domain isn't just another pillar on the chart. It's the active ingredient. It's the connective tissue that weaves the social and the technical systems together. It's not the what, it is the how.
See, these aren't just passive skills. They are the actions that OD pros take to make that joint optimization a reality. Leading and managing change is about inspiring people to get on board with the technical plan. Consulting and partnering is about that deep listening and diagnosis required to see what's really going on across both systems. And facilitating learning and innovation, that's about creating a space where new brilliant ideas can pop up right at the intersection of people and process.
So, what's the big deal? Why does all this matter? Well, because this isn't just another dusty academic model. Having a clear, unified framework, like most, has some huge, real-world consequences for anybody who cares about making organizations better.
Its real power comes from the fact that it's not just a good idea. It's been rigorously tested and scientifically backed by data, and that's what separates it from so many older models that were really just based on what a group of experts thought was right. This one has the receipts. And speaking of receipts, get a load of this. The final study to test and confirm this framework involved over 1,000 professionals. That number, 1,104, is a huge deal. It gives the model incredible weight and credibility. It proves that this structure we've been looking at, social, technical, and that all-important influence domain, actually holds up under intense scientific scrutiny.
And that validation is a total game changer. For universities, it means they can finally create clear, standardized OD programs. For employers, it's an amazing tool for writing job descriptions and finding skill gaps on their teams. And for those of us actually doing the work, it gives us a reliable map for our careers and a solid foundation for doing our jobs well and ethically.
By finally providing a common language and a validated structure, the MOST framework really elevates organization development. It takes it from a fragmented art form and turns it into a credible, competency-based profession. And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. If every single leader, every manager, every person trying to make things better had a clear, reliable map like this, just imagine what your organization could achieve.